Welcome to Football Review UK and thank you for visiting my channel. Before I start the review, I'd just like to go into the sort of history of the Adidas Predator boot. Last year in 2014, to coincide with the 20th anniversary of the boot, Adidas decided to release in very limited numbers, around 2,000, some remakes of the iconic boot, including the Mania, the Accelerator, the Precision, the Touch and the Rapier. What happened was, because of the limited release, as you can see here, they're selling for £300, £400, £500, and just because they're extremely limited. But what happened was they rekindled the vintage boot market. You know, it sort of ballooned, and as you can see on eBay, you've got the Accelerators here. You know, we can sell some here for £200. There's one for £600 listed. I'm not too sure anyone will buy that. You've got the Precision here. You know, they're selling for at least £100. Possibly a lot more depending on where you go to. You've got the Mania, which is probably the most popular version of the boot. You know, it's selling for £240, £299. You know, you're still getting money for those, even though that's a very old boot. And then you've got the Absolute, which was released in 2006, but they're still going for good money. If you managed to watch my previous video, you would have seen the custom-made Nike football storage box, which was made by Gigantic Customs, and is used to store all of my football boots. You would have also noticed that the vast majority of my boots, as you can see here, are made by Nike. And the reason is I was sort of raised in an era where Nike was sort of king. You know, they had superstars like Eric Cantona, Ian Wright, Ronaldo, Romario, using their brand, and I was very much taken in by all of their massive marketing campaigns and advertisements. But today I'm going to review a vintage pair of football boots I've just recently purchased, which are the Adidas Predator Precision 2 Soft Ground. Now, this boot was actually introduced in Euro 2000, carrying on to the tradition of Adidas releasing a new boot every major championship, you know, for a World Cup or a European Championship. And obviously they were worn by their superstars at the time, with David Beckham, Zinedine Zidane, Del Piero, Kaka, Michael Ballack. So they had a lot of superstars wearing their boots. Now, in terms of history and prestige, the reason why I purchased the Adidas Predator Precision 2 was because I just love the look of the boot. I love the way that sweeping lines towards the back of the boot. I love the fins on the front, and also this was the very first Adidas Predator to have the Velcro on the tongue. Obviously later versions would have the elasticated band, but this is the first one to have the Velcro, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And I know there were other versions of the boot. I know David Beckham preferred the sort of white and silver version, but I think the black, red and white colourway is just absolutely perfect. You know, it takes us to the good old days when Zinedine Zidane was terrorising defences and opposition players. And I'm not too sure if you know this, but the actual boot itself, the Adidas Predator Precision, is the model used for the European Golden Shoe Award for the top scorer in all the European leagues. And that was a photo I took on a recent holiday to Barcelona, and Lionel Messi has several of those in the Barcelona Museum. But as a boot, it is definitely iconic. As I've said, it's used for the European Golden Shoe Award, so it's always going to be in the echelons of history, and I just absolutely love it. I purchased these boots from eBay and they cost me just under £90, which included postage and packaging. And even though that's quite a substantial amount for a boot which is essentially 15 years old, I don't regret it one bit. I've used them in a couple of games already and the touch and feel is fantastic. Obviously later boots which are released today are a lot lighter, but I do prefer a boot which is quite substantial, has a bit of weight to it. Fantastic control, touch, feel on the ball, and at the end of the day, it's how it makes you feel when you're playing football, when you're kicking the ball around and trying to score goals and make some passes. And this boot is still one of those fantastic iconic boots which has definitely stood the test of time.
Chill.